Captain Vexlar stood at the bridge of the Shadow Weaver, his iridescent scales reflecting the dim light of the unfamiliar solar system. The veteran pirate captain had raided countless vessels across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy, but something about this backwater system made his dorsal spines twitch with unease. Preliminary scans complete, Captain, announced First Officer Ziariel, her compound eyes flickering across multiple holographic displays. Third planet shows signs of industrialization, but their technology appears primitive. No energy shields detected. No antimatter signatures. They're still using chemical propulsion for most of their vessels. Vexlar clicked his mandibles thoughtfully. The Merchants Guild had paid handsomely for this intelligence, coordinates to a previously unknown spacefaring species, supposedly rich in rare minerals and with minimal defenses. Perfect prey for the Shadow Weaver's experienced crew. What about their cargo vessels? He asked, moving closer to examine the tactical display. Dozens of ships moved between the planet and its single moon, following predictable patterns that spoke of a species still learning the basics of space travel. Mostly automated drones and small transport vessels, Ziariel reported. But there's something interesting, a larger ship departing the lunar colony. Designation, Hyperion. Cargo manifest lists only mining equipment and processed minerals. Show me, Vexlar commanded. The hologram shifted, focusing on a bulky vessel painted in utilitarian gray. Its design was almost laughably simple, no visible weapon ports, minimal shielding, and engines that looked like they belonged in a museum. Yet something about it nagged at his centuries of experience. Scan for life signs, he ordered. Only 12 crew members detected, his science officer K.R. Thal reported. Minimal security presence. Their communication protocols are basic encryption, easily broken. They appear to be civilian miners, Captain. Vexlar's 4 hearts beat faster as he considered the opportunity. A successful raid on this vessel would not only please their clients, but could provide valuable intelligence about this new species' capabilities. The Shadow Weaver's cloaking technology was generations ahead of anything these humans could detect. Plot an intercept course, he commanded. Standard boarding protocol. No casualties unless necessary. The Merchants Guild wants specimens, not corpses. As his crew prepared for the raid, Vexlar studied the human vessel more closely. Its hull was thick but unremarkable, made of basic alloys. The cargo holds were shielded, but nothing their cutting tools couldn't handle. Everything about it screamed, easy target. Captain, Ziariel's voice carried a note of concern. I've been analyzing their historical data broadcasts. These humans, they have an unusual number of war stories for such a young species. All species have conflicts. Vexlar dismissed the concern. What damage can they do with projectile weapons and chemical explosives? The Shadow Weaver glided silently through space, its advanced cloaking field rendering it invisible to the primitive sensors of the human vessel. They matched velocity perfectly, approaching from above where the humans' viewports wouldn't spot them. Boarding teams in position, K.R. Thal reported. Cutting tools ready. Security teams armed with neural suppressors. Vexlar gave the order. Begin the operation. The first sign that something was wrong came when their cutting tools barely scratched the hull. The second was when the human vessel's minimal shielding suddenly flared to life with power readings that shouldn't have been possible with their level of technology. Captain, Ziariel's usual calm shattered. Multiple weapons systems activating. These aren't mining tools. The cargo holds are opening to reveal, by the void, those are military-grade plasma cannons. The human vessel's transformation was as swift as it was shocking. Panels slid away revealing rows of weapon ports. The primitive engines flared with thrust that matched the Shadow Weaver's capabilities. And the 12 civilian life signs were now moving with the precision of trained military personnel. Impossible, Vexlar breathed. Their manifest listed no weapons. No military capability. The human ship's commander's voice crackled through their communication system, speaking in perfect galactic standard. Unidentified vessel, you have engaged in hostile actions against a Earth Defense Force vessel. Prepare to be boarded. Resistance will be met with extreme prejudice. As his crew panicked and emergency alerts blared, Vexlar realized too late why humans didn't list weapons on their manifests. They didn't need to. Every ship was a weapon, every crew member a soldier, and their primitive technology was the greatest deception of all. The Hyperion's first shot didn't miss. The Shadow Weaver's bridge erupted in chaos as warning systems screamed and emergency lights bathed the command center in crimson. Captain Vexlar gripped his command chair as another precision shot from the Hyperion rocked their hull. "Damage report," he barked, watching in disbelief as the human vessel executed maneuvers that should have been impossible for its apparent level of technology. "Port shields at 40%. They're using some kind of focused plasma weapons we've never seen before," Thal shouted over the din of battle stations. "The whole composition is adapting to our scanning frequencies. We can't get a lock on their vital systems." On the main viewport, the Hyperion had shed its civilian facade entirely. What had appeared to be simple cargo containers were now revealing themselves as modular weapon systems, each one more sophisticated than the last. The vessel's hull gleamed with an otherworldly sheen that seemed to drink in their targeting beams. "Get us out of here," Vexlar ordered. "Maximum thrust. Any vector that." "Multiple new contacts." Zariel interrupted, her voice tight with fear. 3 more human vessels just dropped out of. "Captain, they didn't use any known form of FTL. They just appeared." The tactical display showed 3 sleek vessels materializing around them in a perfect containment pattern. Their designs were different from the Hyperion, clearly purpose-built warships, but they shared the same deceptive simplicity that masked lethal capability. A new voice cut through their communications, female and carrying an air of absolute authority. "This is Captain Sarah Chun of the Earth Defense Force Vessel Artemis. Your ship is contained. Your technology has been scanned and logged. You will power down all systems and prepare for boarding, or we will demonstrate exactly why Earth vessels don't need to list their weapons." Vexlar's second heart nearly stopped when he saw the power readings from the Artemis. The vessel was practically humming with controlled antimatter reactions that their initial scans of Earth had suggested were centuries beyond human capability. "They've locked onto our engine core," Thal reported numbly. "Their targeting systems just bypassed our cloaking field like it wasn't even there." "Perhaps we could negotiate," Zariel suggested desperately. "Offer information about the Merchants Guild." The ship rocked again as a precise shot from one of the human vessels severed their main power conduit. Emergency systems kicked in, but Vexlar could feel the Shadow Weaver's strength bleeding away. "This is your final warning." Captain Chen's voice held no room for debate. "We've detected multiple species in your hold matching known missing persons reports from neutral worlds. Your ship's design matches radar patterns we've been tracking. You have 30 seconds to comply before we begin systematic weapons demonstration." Vexlar's mind raced. The humans weren't just defending themselves, they were coordinating with other species, gathering intelligence, hunting pirates across multiple sectors. Everything they'd assumed about Earth's isolation and technological level had been carefully crafted misinformation. "How?" he demanded over the comm channel. "How did you hide all of this?" "Our scans of your planet showed exactly what we wanted them to show," Chin interrupted. "Did you really think a species that survived 3 world wars and unified their planet would be naive enough to display their true capabilities?" 20 seconds remaining. In that moment, Vexlar understood. Humans hadn't just developed technology, they had mastered the art of strategic deception on a planetary scale. Every piece of data about Earth had been carefully curated to present the image of an emerging civilization, while in reality, "Power down all systems," he ordered his crew, defeat heavy in his voice. "Download the ship's database to secure storage. They're going to want to know everything about our operations." As the Shadow Weaver's systems went dark and armed boarding shuttles approached, Vexlar watched the human vessels with new eyes. Their hulls didn't bristle with obvious weapons because every panel, every seeming structural element was a weapon. They didn't list their armaments because the ships themselves were the armaments, wrapped in layers of deception and technological sophistication that his people hadn't even considered possible. Captain Sarachin stood in the observation room of Earth Defense Force Station Artemis, watching the interrogation of Vexlar through a one-way quantum field. The alien pirate captain sat uncomfortably in a chair designed to accommodate his unique physiology, his iridescent scales dulled under the station's lighting. "Tell me about the Merchants Guild," the interrogator asked, her voice calm and measured. Like everything else about humanity's military, her unassuming appearance belied lethal training. "They're going to kill me for even being here," Vexlar clicked his mandibles nervously. "You don't understand what you're dealing with." Chin smiled slightly. The same could have been said about humanity, but the pirates had learned that lesson the hard way. Her attention shifted to the holographic display showing the contents of the Shadow Weaver's cargo holds. The liberation of the captured beings was still ongoing. 23 species, some known, others that humanity had never encountered before. Captain, her XO, Commander David Rodriguez, entered the room. "You need to see this. We've decoded more of their database." The data painted a disturbing picture. The Merchants Guild wasn't just a criminal organization, it was a shadow empire spanning multiple galactic arms, systematically exploiting and enslaving primitive species. Earth had been their next target, chosen specifically because of its apparent vulnerability. "They have holdings in over 300 systems," Rodriguez continued, expanding the stellar map. "Shell companies, puppet governments, compromised officials. They've been operating for centuries, and we're the first to catch one of their ships intact." "No," Chun corrected, "we're the first they know about catching." She accessed a secured channel on her neural implant, connecting directly to Earth Defense Command. "General, are we go for Protocol Omega?" The response was immediate, confirmed, "Captain. The Council has reviewed the evidence. You have authorization to proceed. Show them why humanity chose to hide in plain sight." Chin turned to Rodriguez. "Release the restrictions on our probe network. Let's show our guest what he's really dealing with." In the interrogation room, new holographic displays sprang to life around Vexlar. His compound eyes widened as he saw hundreds of human vessels suddenly appearing throughout supposedly empty space, ships that had been there all along, hidden by technology far beyond what the pirates had believed possible. "You see," Chin spoke through the room's comm system, "Earth isn't an emerging civilization. We're not isolated, and we're certainly not primitive. We're humanity's visible presence, the tip of the spear that everyone sees coming. What you're looking at now is everything we chose to keep hidden." The display showed massive shipyards tucked inside gas giants, quantum relay networks disguised as natural phenomena, and defense platforms that had been mistaken for asteroids. Earth's apparent technological level had been a carefully crafted illusion, maintained for centuries while humanity quietly built its true strength. "Impossible," Vexlar whispered. "The energy requirements alone." "Dark energy manipulation," Chin stated matter-of-factly. "Something you dismissed as theoretical when you scanned our system. We cracked that particular puzzle 2 centuries ago. Just like we cracked your unbreakable encryption the moment you entered our space." The displays shifted to show more human ships dropping their camouflage, appearing near known Merchants Guild facilities across multiple sectors. Each vessel was a masterpiece of deceptive engineering, weapons hidden within weapons, systems that served multiple purposes, and technology that turned the laws of physics into mere suggestions. "Right now," Chun continued, "Earth Defense Force ships are moving into position around every major guild facility we've identified. We've been planning this for decades, gathering intelligence, building our forces, and waiting for the right moment. Thank you for providing it." Vexlar's scales paled further. "You used us. You let us think we were hunting you. While we hunted you," Chen finished. "It's a human specialty, appearing weak when we are strong. We learned long ago that the best way to survive in a hostile galaxy was to be underestimated. The guild made the same mistake you did, assuming that because we didn't broadcast our strength, we had none to broadcast." New alerts flashed across the displays as human ships began their synchronized assault on guild facilities. The organization that had terrorized dozens of species for centuries was about to learn why humanity had chosen to hide its true nature. "Your ship's manifest listed no weapons," Vexlar said quietly, finally understanding. "Because your entire civilization is a weapon." Chen's reply was cold. "No. We list no weapons because we believe in actions over threats." The guild wanted to know humanity's capabilities? Congratulations! You're about to witness them firsthand. The displays erupted with coordinated strikes across hundreds of light years, guild facilities falling to attacks they never saw coming, from an enemy they dismissed as primitive. Humanity had finally revealed its hand, and the galaxy would never be the same. Through it all, Chin watched Vexlar's reactions carefully. The pirate captain was just beginning to understand the true scope of his species' miscalculation. Earth hadn't needed to advertise its strength. It had spent centuries building it in secret, waiting for the right moment to strike against those who would threaten galactic peace. The age of humanity hiding in plain sight was over. The age of reckoning had begun. The Merchants Guild's central command was in chaos. Emergency transmissions flooded in from across 3 spiral arms of the galaxy as facility after facility went dark. High Administrator Kvax, a being of crystalline intelligence who had guided the guild's shadow empire for over 3 centuries, watched in disbelief as their carefully constructed network crumbled. How many facilities have we lost? Kvax's crystalline form pulsed with angry red light. 60% and counting, their aide reported, neural tendrils writhing in distress. The humans, they're everywhere. Our sensors didn't detect their approach because they were already in position. Some ships appear to have been lying dormant for years, disguised as space debris. On the massive holographic display dominating the command center, red dots representing guild installations continued to wink out. Each loss represented trillions in resources, countless slaves, and centuries of careful manipulation, all being systematically dismantled by a species they dismissed as barely spacefaring. Launch the Phantom Fleet, Kvax ordered. All of it. The aide's neural tendrils twisted in shock. The entire fleet? But High Administrator, that would reveal our existence to the Galactic Council? Kvax's crystalline laughter was sharp and bitter. The humans have already done that. Deploy everything. Show them what happens when you challenge the guild. Across guild space, thousands of ships emerged from hidden docks and quantum pockets. The Phantom Fleet, the guild's true military arm, kept secret even from most of its own members. Ships that made the Shadow Weaver look primitive, crewed by the most ruthless specimens from 100 species. But aboard the Earth Defense Force command vessel Prometheus, Admiral Helena Santos watched the guild's response with quiet satisfaction. Right on schedule, she murmured, her cybernetic eye scanning tactical readouts. They took the bait. Captain Chin, you're cleared for Phase 2. Back on Station Artemis, Chin allowed herself a grim smile as she received the Admiral's transmission. She turned to Vexlar, who was still watching the tactical displays in horror. Your High Administrator just made exactly the mistake we wanted, she said. They revealed their entire hidden fleet, exactly as our predictive AI model said they would. Vexlar's mandibles clicked in confusion. You wanted them to deploy their strongest forces? Of course, Chen replied. Can't spring a trap without the proper bait. The guild's ships are impressive, I'll grant you that. Antimatter drives, phase shields, quantum weaponry, top-of-the-line tech for this arm of the galaxy. She paused, letting her next words sink in. But tell me, who do you think sold them those weapons in the first place? The displays shifted, showing new data streams. Guild ships across the galaxy suddenly found their systems going haywire, weapons powering down, drives failing, quantum shields collapsing. Humanity has had agents in every major weapons manufacturer in the sector for the past century, Chen explained. Every piece of advanced technology the guild purchased came with hidden kill switches. Backdoors so deeply embedded in the base code that not even your best quantum computers could detect them. But some of those systems are from species that haven't even met humans yet. Vexlar protested. Chen's smile grew colder. Haven't they? Are you sure about that? Humanity learned long ago that the best infiltrators are the ones you never suspect exist. We've had people on every major tech world in the sector, living as other species, gathering intelligence, placing our agents in positions of influence. Your own ship's cloaking device? Reverse engineered from human tech, sold to your manufacturers through 3 different shell companies. The displays now showed the true extent of humanity's deception. Across the galaxy, seemingly primitive human ships were transforming, revealing their true nature. What had appeared to be basic hull plating flowing like liquid metal, reshaping into weapons platforms that defied conventional physics. We knew the guild would eventually come for Earth, Chen continued. Just like we knew they'd dismiss us as primitive when they saw our visible technology level. So we planned accordingly. Every ship you thought was a simple merchant vessel or mining platform. Purpose-built warships, hiding in plain sight. That primitive chemical propulsion you detected? A cover for our actual drive systems. The tactical displays told the story. The Guild's mighty Phantom fleet, now revealed, found itself surrounded on all sides by human forces that had been lying in wait, hidden beneath layers of technological camouflage that made the Guild's cloaking systems look like child's play. Your mistake, Chen said to Vexlar, wasn't just underestimating our military capability. It was underestimating our patience. We spent centuries preparing for this moment, infiltrating every level of galactic society, building our true fleet in secret while maintaining the facade of a primitive civilization. New alerts flashed across the screens as humanity's trap snapped shut. Guild ships, their systems compromised by long-dormant backdoors, found themselves at the mercy of an enemy they'd never truly seen until it was too late. High Administrator Kvax is about to learn a lesson about humanity, Chen said, watching as the battle unfolded. We don't need to list weapons on our manifests because everything we build, everything we are, is a weapon. We survived our own wars, our own near extinctions, by learning to turn everything into a tool for survival. The displays showed the Guild's Phantom fleet, their ultimate hidden weapon, being systematically disabled and captured by human forces that had been hiding in plain sight for centuries, waiting for precisely this moment. Welcome, Chen told Vexlar, to humanity's real first contact protocol. High Administrator Kvax's crystalline form pulsed with chaotic patterns as they watched their empire crumble. The Guild's secret headquarters, hidden within the heart of a manufactured black hole, had always been considered impregnable. Yet now, alarms blared as human ships somehow penetrated even this ultimate sanctuary. Impossible, Kvax vibrated, sending shards of light dancing across the command center. Our quantum singularity shields were designed using principles we provided, a new voice interrupted. Admiral Santos's hologram materialized in the center of the room, her cybernetic enhancements gleaming. Through 7 different shell corporations, 3 supposedly independent research institutes, and 1 ancient, alien artifact we let you discover. Kvax's crystalline structure briefly destabilized in shock. You're in our systems. How? We've always been in your systems, Santos replied calmly. Every piece of technology you stole, every innovation you thought you developed independently, all of it contained our code, buried so deep even your quantum processors couldn't detect it. We didn't just infiltrate the Guild, Kvax. We helped build it. Around the hidden base, the Guild's last-line defenses were activating and failing. Weapon systems turned on their own installations. Shield generators protected human ships instead of Guild assets. Even the artificial black hole containing the base began to waver, its quantum matrix responding to human commands. Back on Station Artemis, Captain Chen watched the operation unfold alongside a stunned Vexlar. The tactical displays showed hundreds of human ships emerging from what appeared to be tiers in space itself, technology far beyond anything the Guild had thought possible. Your species, Vexlar clicked his mandibles in disbelief. You weren't just hiding your capabilities. You were guiding us, manipulating every major technological advancement in the sector. Not every advancement, Chen corrected. Just the ones we knew you'd try to steal and weaponize. We needed the Guild to develop along predictable lines, using technology we could control. Every time you thought you were copying advanced alien tech, you were actually implementing our systems, our backdoors. The displays showed Guild facilities across the galaxy being systematically shut down, their own defense systems turned against them. Slaves were being freed by the thousands as hidden human agents, some who had been in deep cover for decades, revealed themselves. But why? Vexlar asked. Why spend centuries on such an elaborate deception? Chen's expression hardened. Because 2,000 years ago, humanity encountered its first alien civilization. They came as conquerors, seeing us as primitive savages to be enslaved. We destroyed them, but we learned a valuable lesson. The galaxy is full of predators, and the obvious ones aren't always the most dangerous. New tactical data streamed across the displays as human ships surrounded the Guild's headquarters. The artificial black hole containment system, responding to hidden commands, began to stabilize into a controlled quantum corridor. So we decided to become the predator no one would see coming, Chen continued. We developed our technology in secret, split our civilization into visible and hidden components. Everything the galaxy sees of Earth, our primitive ships, our basic technology, it's all carefully crafted misinformation. In the Guild headquarters, Kvax watched in horror as their own security forces turned on them, revealing themselves as deep-cover human agents. Some had been in place for decades, their true nature hidden by biotechnology, so advanced it might as well have been magic to the Guild censors. Your entire organization, Santos told the Crystalline Administrator, has been a testing ground for human technology and tactics. We let you build your criminal empire because it helped us identify other potential threats, other species who might follow your predatory path. The displays showed the full extent of humanity's hidden influence, research facilities throughout Guild space that had been secretly directing technological development, seemingly independent corporations that were actually human fronts, and surveillance systems built into the very fabric of Guild technology. The Guild doesn't just fall today, Chin explained to Vexlar. It becomes part of humanity's defense network. Every piece of technology you distributed, every system you built, all of it now serves Earth. The predator becomes the prey, and the prey reveals itself as the apex predator it always was. Kvax, their crystalline form now surrounded by revealed human agents, finally understood. All this time, we thought we were building an empire. You were building our first line of defense, Santos finished. Thank you for your service, Administrator. Humanity now formally accepts control of all Guild assets, personnel, and territory. The displays showed the final stage of humanity's plan unfolding. The Guild's network, built over centuries of criminal enterprise, was being seamlessly integrated into Earth's hidden defense grid. Every ship, every station, every piece of technology now responded to human commands, their true purpose finally revealed. Welcome, Chin told Vexlar, watching as the galaxy's largest criminal empire transformed into humanity's newest line of defense, to the real human empire. We don't list our weapons on manifests because everything we build, everyone we seem to be, is merely camouflage for what we truly are. The galaxy would soon learn that humanity's greatest weapon had never been their hidden technology or secret fleets. It had been their patience, their ability to wait centuries for the perfect moment to reveal their true nature. The predators who had thought to hunt humanity were about to discover they had been the prey all along. 3 months after the fall of the Merchants Guild, the Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Representatives from over 1,000 species gathered in the ancient chamber, their attention fixed on the human delegation making humanity's first official appearance before the council. Admiral Santos stood at the podium, her cybernetic enhancements now displayed openly rather than concealed. Behind her, Captain Chin and a reformed Vexlar waited as witnesses to humanity's true unveiling. Distinguished representatives, Santos began, her voice carrying across the vast chamber. For centuries, you have known Earth as a primitive, emerging civilization. Today, that carefully crafted illusion ends. We are not who you thought we were. We never were. The chamber's holographic displays activated, showing the true extent of human influence throughout the galaxy. Hidden shipyards, cloaked research stations, entire fleets that had been hiding in plain sight, all now revealed. 2,000 years ago, Santos continued, humanity faced its first alien contact. They came as conquerors, seeing us as primitive savages to be enslaved or exterminated. We destroyed them, but their arrival taught us a crucial lesson. The galaxy is not a peaceful place, and visible strength only invites challenge. The displays showed the transformation of human civilization, the split into visible and hidden components, the centuries of technological development conducted in secret, the patient infiltration of every major power in known space. So we chose a different path, Santos explained. While showing you our primitive chemical rockets and basic space stations, we were building something far greater. Every major technological advancement in the past 5 centuries, from quantum drive systems to neural interfaces, originated with human research teams operating in secret. Murmurs of disbelief rippled through the council chamber. A Zoti representative, their crystalline form similar to Kvax's, rose to object. Impossible. Our quantum technology was developed independently by researchers funded through shell companies ultimately controlled by Earth, Chin interrupted, stepping forward. We didn't just advance our own technology, we guided the development of every spacefaring civilization we encountered. Not to control you, but to ensure compatibility with our systems when this day finally came. The displays showed the intricate web of human influence, research institutes, manufacturing facilities, and development programs, all secretly directed by Earth, all pushing galactic technology along paths humanity had chosen. Vexlar, now wearing the insignia of an Earth Defense Force advisor, stepped forward to address his fellow aliens. I commanded one of the most advanced ships in known space, or so I thought. Every system, every innovation we proudly claimed as our own, was human in origin. They didn't need to list weapons on their manifests because they were already inside every weapon we built. Santos raised her hand, and the displays shifted to show new data. The Merchants Guild was not our first target, nor will it be our last. For centuries, we have identified and infiltrated every major threat to galactic stability. Some we eliminated quietly. Others, like the Guild, we allowed to grow under our supervision, using them to identify other potential threats. The chamber erupted in a mix of fear and outrage. A Nexrothi ambassador, their scaled form towering over most others, roared for order. You admit to manipulating entire civilizations. What gives Earth the right? Not the right, Santos corrected calmly. The responsibility. While the Council debated policies and passed resolutions, we acted. Every major conflict you've prevented? We were there, working in the shadows. Every peaceful first contact? We were there, guiding both sides toward cooperation. Every technological breakthrough that brought species closer together? We planted the seeds centuries ago. The displays showed the full scope of humanity's hidden empire, not a territory of conquered worlds, but a vast network of influence, technology, and carefully guided development that span the known galaxy. Today, Santos announced, Earth formally reveals its true status, not as an emerging civilization, but as the silent guardian of galactic stability. The Guild's former assets are now part of a new organization, the Terran Collective. Its purpose is not conquest or control, but protection, coordinating the defense of all sentient species against the threats we know are coming. The chamber fell silent as the displays showed what human long-range sensors had detected, massive void signatures approaching from intergalactic space, signs of civilizations far older and more aggressive than anything in known space. We hid our strength not out of fear, Chin explained, but because we needed time. Time to prepare, to build our defenses, to ensure that when the real threats arrived, we would face them as a united galaxy, not as scattered, competing species. The final displays showed humanity's ultimate project, a massive defensive network spanning 3 galactic arms, built in secret over centuries, capable of protecting not just Earth, but every inhabited world in known space. The age of deception is over, Santos declared. Earth extends an open hand to all species who wish to join the Terran Collective. Those who accept will gain access to our true technology, our real capabilities, and our solemn promise. No more worlds will fall to conquerors. No more civilizations will face extinction alone. As the council chamber erupted in debate, Vexlar turned to Chen. They're afraid, he observed. Not just of humans, but of what you've revealed about the galaxy itself. Chin nodded. Fear can unite or divide. That's why we waited so long to reveal ourselves. The galaxy needed to be ready to face the truth about what lurks between the stars, and ready to stand together against it. The displays showed one final image, Earth, seemingly primitive Earth, now revealed as the heart of the most advanced civilization in known space. Not through conquest or dominance, but through patience, deception, and the unwavering determination to ensure that their first contact experience would never be repeated for any other species. We are humanity, Santos concluded. We don't list our weapons because everything we create, everything we are, serves a single purpose: survival. Not just our own, but all of yours as well. The question before you now is simple. Will you stand with us against what's coming? The galaxy would never be the same. The predators had become protectors, the primitive had revealed themselves as prophets, and the future of all species now rested on their answer to humanity's offer. The real test was just beginning.